First story is titled, Am I the a-hole for refusing to let my sister move in with me? I, male 39, lost my son James 2 years ago. He was only 9 years old and he suffered from leukemia. It was the most devastating loss I've ever experienced. He was my everything, and seeing his health decline was very terrifying. I hoped and prayed that he'd get better, even kept asking why and wished this nightmare never happened. He passed away in my arms, and I remember this vividly. He slept for a few hours and passed away at home. I suffered a lot during the first few months after his death. My ex-wife made it worse by dragging me to court dates and doubling down on my pain and misery. She thought she was making me pay for my own son's death, making it seem like I had something to do with it. She made it worse and was able to get my family on her side. She took away precious stuff that belonged to my son and made it worse. Funny, she was able to move on real quick. Got married and had a baby in a short time period. My sister, who always been mean to me, has contact with her. They're close. My sister would constantly bring my ex up and everything that happens in her life to spite me, telling me to do the same and move on, get married and have children, knowing how upset that made me. My sister also helped my ex get extra stuff from my son's belongings without telling me. She made remarks saying she'd name her new baby after my son to make it feel like my son never really left, and so that there's still a James in the family. Like my son could be replaced. My nephew James is 7 months old, and I never approved of her to honor my son like this. She was being disrespectful of my son's memory, and I ended up not talking to her for some time. Last week, my mom called me to tell me that my sister had a big fight with her husband and moved out, and was planning on starting divorce procedures. She asked if I could take her in for a while, till she solves her issues. By the way, I have 2-bedroom apartment and is very small. If I let my sister move in, that means she'll take my son's room. And I wasn't feeling like I should let her in after what she did, frankly. My mom didn't like my response, and started talking about how my sister was supportive of me during rough times and that I needed to return the favor. Told me to stop being bitter because she took my son's name. I asked her to tell my brother to help, but she said that he said sorry but he has no room. I was getting tired of arguing with my mom, who kept insisting to let my sister move in, but I refused and turned my phone off, which then resulted in more pressure by both parents. Now for the top comments. Block the whole lot of them. That's not your family. You just grew up with them. Not the a-hole. I second this. Who the hell in their right mind sides with the ex-wife in this situation? F those people. You don't owe them anything. Not the a-hole. Your family sided against you with your ex-wife, especially your sister. She did not support you. You have no obligation to help her now. Your family sided against you with your ex-wife. For this reason, you should tell them that they should ask the ex to take her in. You're not the a-hole. This is your home. Even leaving out everything else, you are not obligated to let them stay with you. Tell your family you'll be happy to speak with them once they drop the issue. I'm so sorry for your loss. I've already spoke to my mom and told her how much this upsets me, but she keeps claiming I'm being negative and unsupportive of those who supported me during rough times. Part of me believes strongly that my sister saw my grief as something to take advantage of, and she too made it worse. And honestly, I have no idea why I allowed her to go that far. I guess I wasn't capable of confronting her and anyone else who kept making hurtful comments and didn't understand how hurt I was. Now for the next story. Am I the a-hole for not kicking out my nephew to let my sister move in? I, 35 male, own my house. The layout of the house is important. The basement is a mother-in-law suite, a medium bedroom, a living area, and a small kitchenette along with its own full bathroom. It has its own entrance. The first floor is the kitchen, dining room, and a great room, powder room, and a mudroom connecting to the garage. The upstairs is the master bedroom with a master bath and massive walk-in closet. There are 2 more bedrooms along with a bathroom and a laundry area. One of the bedrooms upstairs I have turned into my office. I am currently working from home full-time. In April, my nephew Alec, male 20, came home from college because of current events. Alec is the oldest of 6 kids, and my sister, female 37, has a bad habit of making him take care of his younger, male 10, female 8, male 6, male 6, female 3, siblings. He reached out to me and I let him move into the mother-in-law suite. He He has been living with me since then and we have had no issues. He does not pay rent, nor do I want him to. A couple of weeks ago, my youngest sister, 29 female, came over. She and her husband are having financial problems since her husband lost his job. She has 2 children, 6 male, 4 female. She asked if they could move in with me for a while. I told her that I didn't think it would work because I only have 1 empty bedroom and I don't think that 4 people would fit very well. She said that she figured she and her family would move into the mother-in-law suite in the basement. I told her no, that was my nephew's area. Well, she started throwing a fit about that, about how she needed room and he didn't. I didn't budge. I knew what was coming next, so I spoke with Alec, telling him what his aunt asked and telling him it was his decision whether or not to give up his space. Sure enough, she went to talk to him and he told her he didn't want to move upstairs. She started ranting about what an entitled a-hole he was and more. I should say that my youngest sister, let us call her Anne, has always been jealous of Alec. His mom was just 17 when she had him, so of course she was still living at home. Anne was the baby of the family until he was born. She was jealous of him since the day he was born. After she calmed down, she said fine, they would take my bedroom, using the walk-in closet as a bedroom for the kids. I said no to that, and also to giving up my office. Well, she started ranting about how I never helped her, and basically just yelling at me. I told her that I was not throwing Alec out of what we both think of as his space for her. Anne stormed out and started complaining to our family. My oldest sister, Alec's mom, thinks that Alec should move back with her and Anne should get the mother-in-law suite. My mom agrees with her. I told them all that they don't get to vote on what happens with my house. Now, they're all saying that Alec and I are both a-holes for not helping Anne. I think they are ridiculous, but I thought I would post here for outside opinions. Am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. It's your house, and so you can do whatever you like with it. It's not your fault for your younger sister's problems, and she's not entitled to anything of yours. Why doesn't she stay with your parents? Why does it have to be you and not anyone else? Or even her husband's family? My mom does 2 empty bedrooms currently, but Anne and my mom have a difficult relationship. However, I agree that living with my mom would be a possibility. Not the a-hole. Your house, your choice. It's as simple as that. Would it be nice of you to shake up Alec and your lives to let her family move in? Of course. It's also super nice of you to let Alec live there in the first place. You are not the family hotel. And your choice to be one doesn't make you an a-hole at all. It's quite literally none of your mom or sister's business what you choose to do with your home. Even Alec is only there by your choice. None of them have any innate right to your space. Anne and Alec do not get along. Anne has been jealous of Alec since he was born, and she's shown it. Alec knows how she feels and doesn't care for her either. My guess, and I haven't asked him, is that if it had been someone else besides Anne, he might have decided to move upstairs. The next story is titled, Would I be the a-hole for refusing to bow to emotional blackmail? In order to maintain sanity, my wife and I have eliminated contact with our sister for the past few years. There has been bad blood between her and my wife for years, which spilled over to me when I lost my job and we decided jointly that I should be a stay-at-home dad until our children started high school. They started school and I went back to work full-time. There were several comments made, with alcohol involved, on my masculinity and lack of work ethic, which escalated one gathering with my mother-in-law and sister-in-law shouting at my wife, my kids in tears, and me saying I've had enough and I left and sat in the car. My family came out a few minutes later. Later, mother-in-law and sister-in-law decided the argument was my fault and that I should apologize to everyone there. I refused, and since then, it has been a constant barrage of tears and emotional blackmail from my mother-in-law on how I'm tearing the family apart. I have never said my wife and kids cannot attend family events with a sister-in-law. I just chose not to do so. To be fair, I'm not a saint and have made a few snide comments of my own, but they have always been in response to digs. So this year, mother-in-law issued an ultimatum. Either all of us, myself included, attend her family Christmas gathering, or my wife and kids are not invited. This is common of the emotional blackmail that's been played over the course of our marriage. My wife has always asked me to be the better person for the sake of our kids, but I'm really over it. So, if I refuse to attend and thus ensure my wife and kids are not welcome, am I the a-hole? Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. My therapist said something really meaningful to me. She told me a story about how her son threatened to hold his children against her, and how he was going to make it so she wouldn't be allowed to see them. She said the very first time it happened, she decided not to let it go any further and told him without hesitation, "Okay, that's fine. I won't see your children. I'm not going to let you dangle my own grandkids over my head. If you're going to treat my grandchildren like pawns, then I don't want any part in it." That's the first thing. Ultimatums like that are ridiculous, and it's clear that no one is going to be happy. Secondly, sometimes being the better person is not always truly being the better person. Do you want your kids in an environment like that? What if another fight breaks out at a tense family dinner? It's better for your own mental wellness, but most importantly, your kids' mental wellness, to just discontinue contact with them altogether, not just for Christmas dinners. If they aren't completely awful, maybe they will realize that using families and real people as pawns wasn't a great idea. If they don't realize that, well then, you're better off. Capitulating also models for their children that should accept mistreatments. Not the a-hole. Call her bluff. You should all stay home and have your own family Christmas. Start your own traditions. Tell your wife that you will not be bullied and manipulated by her family anymore. Tell her the price is too high. If they are going to punish their own daughter/sister because they like to control everyone, so be it. Your wife needs to learn to stand up to her family. They get away with their bullshit because everyone gives in to them. And is she going to kick out her daughter and grandkids on Christmas? That's a bigger tell than anything. Now for the last story. Am I the a-hole for telling my sister to reimburse me for 1/2 the cost of my wedding from 10 years ago? My younger sister got engaged a couple months before COVID. Neither of us are close with our parents, and we are the only siblings. I am 7 years older and more established in my career. My sister and her fiancé struggle financially, which is to be expected as they are just starting out. I am not rich by any means, but I've always done my best to help them when I can. Groceries, rent, etc. Because I know that they would never get any help from our parents. When they announced their engagement, pre-COVID, I was happy for them and offered to help them with some of the wedding costs and throwing a bridal shower. Then COVID hit, and all plans came to a grinding halt. My sister is incredibly impatient and doesn't think before she acts. She is asked about the bridal shower numerous times. I told her that we could not do this right now due to the pandemic, and also that my financial situation has changed and I would not be comfortable spending this money until my work hours were back to normal. I also have bills and kids that need to come first. She got angry that I was unsupportive just like our parents, which pisses me off immensely as I have done a lot for her, and decided to elope at City Hall a couple weeks ago. They didn't bother to tell anyone and just made a rude and dramatic post about it on Facebook. Not that anyone cares, but we got married today blah blah blah, and then went on to berate individual family members in the comments. No surprise that she ruffled quite a few feathers with this crap. She is not the first family member to elope, so the eloping wasn't the issue. I got a message from her earlier asking me about when we were having the bridal shower. I told her that we weren't, and that bridal showers are for before weddings. No one would go now anyways. She got upset again and made a comment about how she had not received any wedding gifts yet either. I told her that she likely wouldn't be getting anything, as not only is it not customary to send a gift when someone elopes, but she's acting like an entitled jerk. She panicked. I guess she had been banking on these gifts, and then suggested that since I received over $6,000 worth of gifts 10 years ago, I should have to give her 1/2, and also still give her the money I was going to for the wedding, and that she had quit her job after the wedding because she thought she was getting this money. Here's where I might be the a-hole. I lost my temper with her entitled crap. I refused to give her any more money. In my opinion, she should not have quit her job. I also told her that I'd write her a check for 1/2 the gift as soon as she paid 1/2 the cost of my $40,000 wedding. Now, she's whining on Facebook about how I'm petty, and now she can't afford her rent. Now for the top comments. Not the a-hole. It's time your sister grew up and learned that there's no such thing as free money. Exactly. I seriously wonder what kind of upbringing she had to think that getting married means free money. The entitlement here isn't real. She needs to grow up and learn how the real world works. I honestly think she is just incredibly immature. She's 20, but acts much younger than she is. Not the a-hole who quits their job during a pandemic on the hopes that they will be gifted with money that absolutely nobody has promised them. What the actual F? I am speechless. I agree 100%. I know that she hated this job. It's her first job ever. I told her to start looking for another one before quitting. She doesn't think before she does things. Not the a-hole. Your sister sounds like you've spoiled the crap out of her, and now she's become too expectant on your money. Only thing I would say is that some brides can have events after an elopement. My best friend eloped this year because of COVID, and we're still going to have a full wedding for her next year. Yes, we've had other family members who had eloped and then had a get-together after. However, they didn't announce it to everyone on Facebook for shock value, and then go off on a rant insulting everyone who refused to ignore COVID in the comments. And that's the end of this video, folks. As always, leave a comment and hit like and subscribe. And if you want more of this content, turn your notification on to get updated on the latest videos. And I'll catch you with the next one. Stay safe.